Today, I want to talk about hope and recovery from a little bit of a different perspective. I want to talk about what happens when hope and recovery are not around, when despair, distorted thinking, and addiction are what has control of someone's life. Sometimes that leads to suicide. I've lost people to suicide, and I have a good bet that you did too. So I want to talk today about how we can help a person who might be thinking about suicide. My name is Mary Jedwisiak. The name of my company is Holding the Hope. I've traveled all over the country and even internationally, teaching and training people on suicide prevention. I can't give you a whole workshop here today in this little short video, but what I can do is perhaps give you some tools and dispel some myths so that you'll feel just a little more powerful when you go to help someone you love stay safe from suicide. The first myth I want to talk about is that suicide doesn't happen, really. It's pretty rare, and we don't really have to worry about it. In my state, 2 youth die by suicide each week. Each week, between the ages of 10 and 24. We know that for every one person who's died by suicide, there's between 80 and 100 who've attempted. 1 out of 10 high school seniors are going to attempt suicide this year, unless they're gay, and then it's 3 out of 10. And for our transgendered brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews, it's 48%, almost half. That's a lot of people. And we think, what can we do? The first thing we can do is talk about it. Because one of the myths that's out there is that talking about suicide is going to cause it, or somehow is going to plant the seed in a person's mind if we ask them directly about suicide. As a community, we have to talk about suicide, and as someone who loves, we have to ask directly about suicide. Are you so sad you're thinking that suicide might be an option? Is suicide the only thing you can think of? Do you sometimes think that suicide might be the answer? We have to ask directly about suicide. We have to use the word suicide. It's a yes or no question. We ask that question because the person at risk is waiting for us to ask. They are filled with despair. They're powerless. They need us. We have to ask about suicide. And then we need to connect them with resources. One of the best resources is the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, 1-800-273-8255, or 1-800-273-TALK. Call them. Call them if you don't know what to do and you're worried about someone. They'll walk you through it. Call them if you're thinking about suicide. Call them if you're talking to somebody who's thinking about suicide and you don't know where else to call. They can help. The next myth is that somehow we think that nothing can be done. And I want to tell you, everybody has a role in suicide prevention. Everybody can do something. But the best thing we can do is come together and create community. Talk to each other. Connect with each other. Create the community, because what that does is it breaks the isolation. And isolation is a horrible killer. We need to break the isolation and help people who are thinking about suicide to know that they're part of a community. None of us can do this alone. Whether you're a school district, whether you're a shopkeeper, whether you're a parent, whether you're a pastor, we can't do this alone. When we come together as a community, we are so much stronger. My company also has resources. My company is called Holding the Hope. If you go to holdingthehope.com, we have free resources on my resource page. Recognizing and treating depression in your child, a parent's guide. Stop youth suicide. Watch for signs. Stop youth suicide. On the website, free. Another fantastic resource, sprc.org. Here's what I will tell you. I will go anywhere in Southwest Washington and talk about suicide for free. If you aren't fortunate enough to live in this beautiful state of Washington, in this southwest corner, if you purchase anything from my website, any of my keynotes, or for whatever reason you've invited me into your community, my team and I will bring a free suicide prevention workshop into your community. If you don't want to purchase anything from my website or purchase any of the workshops that we have there, that's okay too. I know people in your town that would offer this same offer to come and speak to you about suicide prevention for free in a heartbeat. So contact me. My name is Mary Jedwisiak, and I'm holding the hope for you. Thank you.